Hey, Fearless Follower, Pastor Aaron here with our Fearless Word of the Day. I hope you've been able to follow along in our Thrive study guide as we walk through the Ten Commandments and bridging that to New Testament scriptures and teachings through our Thrive series this summer. Today's Word of the Day comes to us out of the book of Luke, and it's interesting. This is unique to the book of Luke. The other Gospels have a different take on this story. But Luke focuses in on an individual in this group, where other Gospels focus on the whole group and the negative tone. But here's what it says in the book of Luke, chapter 23, starting in verse 39. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him, speaking of Jesus. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him, saying, "Don't you fear God? Since you are under the same sentence as this man, we are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered, "Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." This is just a really neat account of Jesus' relationship with the thief on the cross. This coming weekend, we're going to be talking about living in God's provision. And we're talking this week about not stealing and not taking what's rightfully ours. And in this account, we get to focus on the reality that God has provided a way out of judgment for everyone who's in right relationship with him. The truth of life is that we are all guilty. We've all made mistakes. We're part of a broken world and a broken system. I remember going to summer camp as a child, and one night none of the kids in my cabin wanted to go to sleep, and we were all talking and being loud after lights out, and our 17-year-old counselor, who was trying to control 10-year-old boys, had lost his patience, and he finally said, "If I hear one more word, everybody's gonna weed the beach tomorrow during swim time." And one of the boys in the cabin said something like, fart or butt or something, just because we're 10-year-old boys. And he said, "That's it, you're all gonna weed the beach." And I was laying there quietly, not doing anything wrong, and I thought to myself, surely I don't have to weed the beach tomorrow. So it came swim time, and I went over to my counselor and I said, "Hey, I was being quiet last night. I don't need to take this penalty." And he said, "No matter how good you were being, you're still part of the cabin, and you're responsible for the actions of the cabin." And so I, through tears, weeded weeds through my swim time. And it's just a reality that you may be a good person. You may have made less poor choices than the next person, but we are all part of this broken system. We are all parts in rebellion against God's best ways. Our forefathers and our ancestors have given us a heritage of disobeying God's commands. And it started with the first humans. And we are just as responsible for the brokenness in our relationship with God as the person who's made even bigger, badder choices than we have, right? Because you're part of this, you're responsible for it. Now, the good news that we see here in Luke 23 is that Jesus has provided a way out. He has done the work so that you don't have to sit on the beach weeding during swim time. You can jump in the water on a hot day. He has done the work on the cross of taking the penalty of sin and brokenness by giving his life, so that when you die physically, you are not separated spiritually from the God of the universe. The thief in this story understands that he's going to die physically with Jesus because it's a broken world, because none of us make it out alive, but he knows that Jesus holds the keys of life and death, everlasting. And he asks that he would be with him in paradise. He, at some level, for some reason, understands this is the Messiah, and a relationship with him will free me from the consequences of the rules. Rules protect relationship. Every one of us has to carry some of the brokenness of this world in our heart and on our shoulders, but a relationship with Christ brings redemption into that. can heal what's broken. It can mend and make it whole again. And ultimately, we have the hope that our souls will be restored to right relationship with God and others after this broken world is over, because Jesus has paid the price for us. And that's good news. There's power in living, and there is freedom even after death. My name is Aaron, and that's your Fearless Word for the day.